Today we have the CBA 1000 circuit breaker analyzer from ESA, which provides basic timing testing for the circuit breaker main contacts and auxiliary contacts. In order to make the set operational, the following basic wiring is required. An earth should be applied to the substation earth at a convenient point. The device can be battery operated if the battery is charged, but more commonly it's used by powering the device up from the mains. Once these two connections are in place, the device can be powered up via the main switch. To identify the main contact timing cables, find the cables marked A, B and C for the connection to the main contact timing terminals. For phase A, connect the main contact timing cables to A1 and 2, positioning the colors according to the color codes, red to red, blue to blue and black to black. Do a similar thing for phases B and C. Once all three phases are in position, you will have A, B and C according to the color coding on the main terminals A, B and C of the device. A number of inputs are provided for auxiliary inputs to monitor auxiliary contacts. These are inserted in a similar fashion according to the color coding as the main contacts, and you can monitor up to 4 contacts in this way. In order to control the circuit breaker, to open and close the circuit breaker, DC from the substation has to be provided to the actual circuit breaker timer. Initially the DC is provided into the park terminal, which is a blanked off terminal. This terminal is then later moved to the actual top of the closed circuit and the top of the open circuit once you're ready to initiate a trip or a close. This is done for safety purposes. In order for the instrument to switch the DC through to the close or the open coil, the other close and open terminals are provided to the terminal block, which lead to the close and the open coils. In order to control the menu, you can spin the dial. In order to select a menu item, you can click the dial. By default, the secondary main contact is not active and the auxiliary contacts are not active. So we'll go into the menu by clicking the dial in order to set the auxiliary contact and the second main contact timing channel so that they appear on the trace. In order to set the main contact timing channel, we click on contacts monitoring and we select all, click the dial. We can then select each of the auxiliary contacts and name them if required. Second, third and the fourth. Once this is done, we can hit the return soft key, click the dial and get back to the test diagram ready to run the test. As you can see on the main contact timing, we can see that both the A, B, C, A1 and A2, B2 and C2 are all red, indicating that the circuit breaker main contact is in the closed position. We can also see that some of the auxiliary contacts are in the closed position and others are in the open position. The select button can be used to select the operation of the breaker. Because in this case my breaker is closed, I will select an open operation, and once I'm ready in the correct selection, I can hit the start button and the circuit breaker should open. Once the results start coming in, the system will display the result on the screen. So we can see the state of change of the main contacts and also some of the auxiliary contacts in this case. Additionally, on this screen You can view the coil current from the open coil in this case. In order to do a more complex operation, typically an open, close, open, you can select the operation via the select button and then initiate the operation via the start button. Once the operation is complete, you will see the display on the screen, and we can see on the main contacts the transition from close to open, back to close, back to open again, as selected on the open, close, open operation. In this case we can see the intervention of the open coil twice and the closed coil once, and the transition of auxiliary contacts as indicated by the bottom trace. The device, in terms of saving your record, has some built-in safeguards, so if an additional operation is selected, you will be automatically prompted to save the record so that you don't lose the record. In this case, if I try and select an additional operation, I would first be prompted to save the record. If I select yes and press the dial, I can then key in a name for the actual record. The results are actually saved. If I then go and view the result, I can also view the results, the actual numeric results on the screen. As well as viewing the graphical results, and I can change between these two states. So I now have the view on the device. I also have the results saved, which I can later download to my computer to write up the report. In order to download the results to your computer, the TDMS software from ESA can be installed. You will require admin rights to install the USB driver if you're going to connect via the USB port. Alternatively, you can connect via a serial port. Both cables are supplied with the device.